If you're dealing with fatigue, the kind of tired that just does not go away, the kind of fatigue where you can't get out of bed, you wake up in the morning as tired as you were when you went to bed, you're so exhausted all the time you're afraid you'll get fired, that kind of fatigue, then this video is for you. Hi, I'm David Toman, author of Nootropics Expert and this YouTube channel. In this video, I'm going to do something a little bit different from my usual videos. Here, I'm going to share with you a more personal story about Alex, one of our community members, as he told it to me. We're going to follow Alex and his 6-week experiment to finally get out from under this thing that completely turned his life upside down, chronic fatigue. For 2 years, Alex could not get out of bed. Doctors called it chronic fatigue syndrome. But for Alex, it felt like he was a prisoner in his own body. He was feeling lonely, irritable, full of guilt, embarrassed, his friends and family calling him lazy. And at 35, Alex was watching his life just slip away. The problem, as I explained to him during a consultation we did a few months ago, is called mitochondrial dysfunction. These tiny organelles inside each one of his cells were not pumping out enough energy. So in this video, I'll share with you what that felt like for Alex as he shared it with me. I'll detail 5 specific nootropic supplements that Alex chose and that I recommended for his experiment, and why he chose them based on the clinical research. I'll walk you through his experience week by week, detailing the results. And I'll explain why this experiment, his personal journey, might offer some useful ideas for your own research into how to get out from under your own chronic fatigue. Sound good? Now, before we get started, if you find this kind of information helpful, please hit the subscribe button. It doesn't cost you anything, but it does help this channel get noticed by others who might need this information too. And one more thing, this journey was very personal for Alex. If you're feeling frustrated or overwhelmed, trying to figure out which supplements are right for you, consider getting professional help. You can schedule a consultation with me using the link in the notes below this video, and we can work on getting you back on track. Now let's get started and find out what Alex did to get out from under the hell that he was living in. First, before we start talking about nootropics like we always do, you need to really understand just how awful things were for Alex. Let's call it week 0. On a scale of 1 to 10 for energy, where 1 is you're almost dead, and 10 is you got enough energy to conquer the world, Alex was living at a consistent 2 or 3. Now 3 isn't functional. At 3, it means you spend your entire day juggling what little energy you have left just so that you have enough that you can pick up your mobile if somebody calls you. Alex told me that he once thought his mind was his best asset, but now he'd stare at a spreadsheet. The numbers are an incoherent jumble of digits, where his brain couldn't even do simple calculations. Everything felt like dragging his feet through wet cement. Alex's doctors ran through all the tests, looking for thyroid problems, anemia. All the usual culprits were ruled out. The final consensus, which they didn't even tell him how to fix, was called chronic fatigue syndrome. And it was likely due to mitochondrial dysfunction. So what does this actually mean? Let's break it down. Inside every one of your cells, you have these tiny microscopic organelles called mitochondria. This is where your energy comes from. Mitochondria convert food and oxygen into a molecule called adenosine triphosphate, or ATP. ATP is your main energy source during your day. In mitochondrial dysfunction, this method of creating energy is broken. While research is still ongoing, we know enough now that this dysfunction may be the cause of a ton of different health issues. And for Alex, this mitochondrial dysfunction turned into a profound, bone-deep exhaustion that no amount of sleep could fix. So Alex started his journey at a measly 2 or 3 out of 10 and desperately hoping that I could help him out. PQQ for Building New Mitochondria. The first nootropic that Alex used that I recommended was PQQ. We chose PQQ because its primary mechanism of action sounded exactly like what he needed: more mitochondria. In other words, PQQ is unique compared to other supplements because PQQ helps your body grow new mitochondria. Now that's a rare and powerful thing because PQQ appears to activate signaling pathways that switch on genes responsible for creating new mitochondria. New mitochondria means more mitochondria, which means more energy, hopefully. Research also shows that PQQ may help reduce inflammation. And more mitochondria, you've got more energy. Alex started with a standard dose of 20 milligrams a day. And the first few days, he didn't really feel anything. But then, around day 5, something felt like it shifted a little bit. He woke up and the feeling like he was pinned to the mattress was a little bit less intense. By the end of the first week, he was convinced this was no placebo. His energy levels moved up a notch to a 4 out of 10. Now, for a healthy person, a jump from 3 to 4 is nothing. But for Alex, this was kind of monumental. A 4 meant that he could get through his morning without feeling completely exhausted and drained before 11 a.m. CoQ10 for creating cellular energy. Okay, so we made a little progress in week 1 with PQQ, and Alex was helping his brain and body create new mitochondria. But those new mitochondria needed the rest of the ingredients to produce the energy Alex so desperately wanted. And that's where CoQ10 comes in. CoQ10 is an enzyme that's naturally synthesized in your body and brain, and its job is to get an electron from NADH and donates it to the electron transport chain at the very beginning of the process that makes ATP, mitochondrial complexes 1, 2, and 3. Without enough CoQ10, one critical component of the energy production process is missing. And when you don't have enough CoQ10, then you deal with fatigue. Alex chose the ubiquinol form of CoQ10, which is the active, more bioavailable version of CoQ10. It also works as a potent antioxidant right at the beginning of the energy production process in mitochondria. So at the start of week 2, while continuing to use PQQ every day, Alex added 200 milligrams of ubiquinol that he took every day. The synergy between PQQ and CoQ10 is very well documented in clinical studies. The combination of these two nootropics is a much more powerful way to produce ATP energy than just using one or the other. So Alex reported that his energy levels rose from a 4 to 5 out of 10. By the beginning of week 3, Alex was starting to feel like he could get through his workday and not feel like he was completely depleted by the time he got home. Chronic fatigue was slowly but surely starting to withdraw from Alex. PQQ was helping to generate new mitochondria, and CoQ10 appeared to be making a little bit more energy so that he so desperately needed. NADH and direct energy production. Alex got to a 5 out of 10 by week 3, which was for him kind of life-changing. But the next step was to introduce the molecule that CoQ10 needed to get its electron from to donate to the electron transport chain. And that molecule is a derivative of niacin, and it's called NADH. NADH is a reduced or active form of NAD+, which comes from niacin. Think of it as a fully charged battery carrying electrons that can be donated directly to the electron transport chain in your mitochondria via CoQ10 to create ATP. In fact, each molecule of NADH is used to generate up to 3 molecules that it can donate to CoQ10 to produce ATP. The problem is if you are dealing with chronic fatigue. It could be because of impaired NAD+ metabolism from niacin, which means this critical energy transfer process is running slow. By supplementing NADH, you're giving your body and brain a direct source of these high-energy electrons so that CoQ10 can donate them to boost ATP production. So at the start of week 4, Alex continued using PQQ and CoQ10, and he added 20 milligrams of sublingual NADH. Studies have shown that this small dose of NADH, especially when combined with CoQ10, can reduce fatigue in people with chronic fatigue syndrome. The effect is not like the jolt you get from caffeine, but more like a nice, smooth energy boost. Over the next week, Alex's energy climbed from 5 to 6 out of 10. But the other thing Alex noticed was that his brain fog was starting to lift, and he started enjoying his work more. But the biggest change that Alex said was in his motivation and mood, because for years, his world was just blah. It was like drab and gray. With his energy now at a 6, color started to come back, and he felt the urge to start participating in life that he thought that he had lost forever. Acetyl-L-Carnitine, or ALCAR, for fuel and BDNF. At this point, Alex said that he was enjoying an energy level of around 6. His original goal of escaping the prison of fatigue had finally been met. But Alex was not quite where he wanted to be yet. So I suggested he try adding ALCAR, or acetyl-L-carnitine. ALCAR is a potent addition to energy production because it acts as a shuttle, transporting fatty acids across the mitochondrial membrane so that they can be used for ATP production. Studies show that when your mitochondria slow down, supplementing with ALCAR can get them going again. ALCAR even helps reverse problems with mitochondria caused by oxidative stress, which is an ongoing problem in your energy-hungry brain. And it boosts brain-derived nootropic factor, or BDNF, for neurogenesis. At the beginning of week 5, Alex added 500 milligrams of ALCAR to his stack, and he used it twice a day, once in the morning and then again at noon. Studies have shown that ALCAR specifically helps reduce mental fatigue. Alex's physical energy levels didn't go up, but his mental energy and stamina got a nice boost. Alex reported that he could work on a complex project for 4 or 5 hours straight without feeling like he drained his energy reserves. His energy levels increased to a consistent 7 out of 10. And for Alex, the difference between 6 and a 7 was the difference between just feeling functional and really feeling like he was starting to make some real progress in the energy department. Methylene Blue pushed the needle. Alex felt like he was finally nearing the end of his journey. Going from a 3 to a 7 was for him a total victory. But there's one last compound that I kind of kept back. I saved it for last because it is by far the most powerful and requires some experience before trying it. And that's Methylene Blue. Now let me be very clear. Methylene Blue is not your typical supplement. It's a synthetic compound. And this is absolutely one that you must research thoroughly before ever considering it, because of its powerful interactions with meds, especially SSRIs and MAOIs. Any anti-anxiety supplement or antidepressant can be contraindicated with Methylene Blue, and you can't use it. Methylene Blue's mechanism of action is unique. In the mitochondrial process of producing energy, parts of the electron transport chain can become impaired. And the way it works is immediately after CoQ10, which shuttles electrons between mitochondrial complexes 1, 2, 3. That part can break down due to oxidative stress. Methylene Blue jumps right over those first 3 complexes and comes in at complex 4, right before oxygen production in mitochondria. This allows mitochondria to continue producing ATP even when the first part of the process at complex 1, 2, and 3 may be damaged because of oxidative stress. I had Alex choose a pharmaceutical grade of Methylene Blue and started at a very low dose, around 5 milligrams, for the final week. The results were, as the title says, wild. Within 2 days, Alex said his energy went from an 8 to a 9 out of 10. At energy level 9, Alex said it's a level of energy he's not sure that he's ever experienced. It's not the kind of energy you get from caffeine. It's a deep, pure energy that lasts all day and nothing like the temporary spike you get from downing a cup from Starbucks. Alex said his world seemed brighter. He was thinking faster. His mood was better. He told me that he went for a hike in the hills behind his house where he lives that weekend, and he loved every second of it. Now, from being stuck in bed to climbing hills, the next thing you know, Alex will be climbing mountains. Now, that's wild. But wait, there's more. Alex's journey has a happy end, not a happy ending, a happy beginning. So to recap Alex's journey, he started with PQQ to grow new mitochondria, which took him from a 3 to a 4 in the energy scale. And then he added CoQ10 to start making more ATP energy and got his energy to a level 5 out of 10. And next, Alex added sublingual NADH, which provided the electron that CoQ10 needed for the mitochondrial electron transport chain, which pushed him to an energy level of 6. Acetyl-L-Carnitine helped transport fatty acids into energy production process to make adenosine triphosphate, and that pushed Alex to an energy level of 7 out of 10. And then Alex took a leap and added Methylene Blue, which took him from a 7 all the way up to an energy level 9, kind of like pushing 10. Alex discovered that his key takeaway in this whole process appeared to be synergy. There was no way that any one of these nootropic supplements on their own could have provided such dramatic results. It was stacking these 5 supplements together that finally addressed mitochondria health from several different angles. Now, I must end this video with a very important disclaimer. This was Alex's personal experience. It was an experiment. Now, I'm not a doctor, and this is not medical advice. What worked for Alex may not work for you, because chronic fatigue syndrome is a deeply complex illness with no single way established to fix it. Some of these compounds, especially Methylene Blue, have significant risks in using them. So please do your research and talk to a professional before starting something like Methylene Blue. But I wanted to share Alex's story to offer a message of hope. A few months ago, he was worried about losing his job. And now, not only is his career secure, but his new energy and mental clarity even got him a promotion. But Alex's journey is not over. This is just a new beginning for him. And it can be for you too. I'm really curious to hear from you. Have you struggled with chronic fatigue? Have you experimented with any of these nootropic supplements? Share your story and your questions in the comments below this video. Now, if you need some help like I gave Alex in the beginning, the best supplement stack for you and whatever it is that you're dealing with, schedule a consultation with me. An hour with me could save you a ton of money and a lot of time trying to figure things out on your own. And make sure you subscribe to this channel before you go. It helps put this information in front of others that are dealing with the same problems that brought you here. Let them know that this channel is here and this video is here. And please join our membership here on this channel, especially the Neurohacker Level 2.0, because I do nootropic stack reviews every month. You send me what you're using and I'll provide my feedback and suggestions via video, but only for Tier 2 channel members. So click the join button and watch the video to see what membership is all about. Now watch this video called Best Nootropics for 2026 next. My name is David Toman and this is my channel. Make sure to turn on notifications because I'll have a new video next week and I don't want you to miss it. And thanks for watching. See you soon.